Pokemon Radical Red is a fantastic ROM hack, but also a very hard ROM hack to beat. You need to have some kind of coherent strategy and in-depth knowledge of competitive battling to have any decent chance of beating the game. I realised this the hard way in my first blind playthrough of the game. I tried to play the game by simply using my favourite Pokemon, and while everything up until the Elite Four was absolutely manageable, once I started EV training, the final series of battles was extremely difficult and I was simply outmatched. I lost over and over again and wasn't even remotely close to reaching the champion. This is a team I used on my first blind attempt at the Elite Four, to illustrate just how ludicrous they can be. I really like Slacking, the first Pokemon on my team. This one has max IVs and EVs with attack and speed. It's worth noting that the Truant ability is now buffed in this game, so Slacking can use healing moves like Slack Off in the Truant turns, though at this time I wasn't aware of this and went with Choice Band instead, as Slacking's attack is so ridiculously high that it almost always one-shots everything with her turn. In base Emerald, you can easily switch in Slacking and just automatically get a one-shot, then just switch back out. It's such a powerhouse. However, in this game, as everything is max speed from what I've seen, the Elite Four will mostly be outspeeding Slacking anyway, so an alternative strategy you could do is go for max HP and attack instead, with leftovers and Slack Off to make Slacking more tanky. After all, its defense is pretty amazing. The next Pokemon I used is your boy Corviknight. Everyone knows how good this thing is. Look, you need a really good physical wall. The moveset I used was Brave Bird, Protect, Roost and U-turn, with leftovers and pressure. Against Bruno especially, you can stall and pivot so much. Corviknight is one of the best counters against Bruno, and if you know how to use it, you can easily win that fight. Lapras is also here, and this is good as its IV values are completely maxed out. Bruh. Freeze Dry is also really useful against Lorelei, and overall, it's got good special attack and bulk. Oh, I forgot to mention that in this team, I was using the newly added Mega Lapras, which is a thing in this game. Giraffe Freak is next, and this thing looks just insane. Parental Bond, one of the most broken abilities ever made, check. Charge Beam, which got buffed so it never misses and will always beat your special attack set, check. Frickin' Boom Burst, Jesus Christ, this thing looks insane. Now we have everyone's favourite meta fish, Dracovish. Do you know that in this game this thing got a 10-point nerf to its physical attack and a 10-point buff to its special defense? Despite this, Fishy Rend is absolutely insane on this, and it will still work regardless. Do note that this Pokemon needs to be Scarfed or else it will get outsped by almost everything. Also, look at its IVs. Not having an S rating in speed really came back to bite me in the ass. Speed tiers are crucial in this game. For the last notable Pokemon, it's great to have a setup Sweeper, and Dragapult is a nice option. Amazing speed, great attack and Dragon Dance. I also maxed out its IVs. But with that, that's pretty much my squad. I do have Venusaur and Victini in PC, which are ready for now, but I just went on with this team right here. So my team looks pretty strong, right? Well, with that, it's time to take on the Elite Four. Come on! Wait, what? What? Over already? Okay, that must have just been a fluke. I just wasn't prepared. Well, now I'm ready. I'll go and I'll beat Lorelei. What? She's using a different team? Oh my god, what the hell is this? Not only is she using a different team, it's arguably even crazier than the last one. What? And she has a Mega Swampert as well? This is absolute madness. How am I supposed to win against this? As you can see, her team is insanity, and she's only the first member. She has powerful Megas, Swift Swim, Slush Rush users, Hail, Rain Dance, Ubers. I've got a bad feeling about this. Is my team even enough for this? Even with Mega Lapras, I was going nowhere, and I lost several more times and my team just wasn't cutting it. After a few more tries and a lot of losses, I eventually did make it to Bruno. Then I promptly lost. Oh man. Honestly, Bruno isn't as bad as Lorelei, and Corviknight is really good against him, once you figure out how to beat his team, but this just won't do. Hell, even when I eventually beat Bruno and made it to Agatha, she was even harder than Lorelei. Her team is so tricky to play around, with threats like Aegislash and Marshadow. This just wasn't going right for me, and after at least 20 losses, I finally made it to Lance. And I won't show you right now what he had, but let's just say that on my first attempt against Lance, and the only one I had with his team because I've only made it to him once, he destroyed me so thoroughly that I can't even talk about it. Like, also, I will mention that I didn't save scum before any of the Elite 4 members. If I lost, I made it a purposeful choice to restart the entire challenge again. I was destroyed so much by Lance that I knew that my team just was not enough. I needed more power. Though I am running some great Pokemon which are really good as standalone Pokemon, the team as a whole has no real synergy to tie it all together. I need to address this. There are many options for coherent teams like Hyper, Offense or Stall, but these teams aren't too easy to build, and they require a huge amount of care and balance to make it truly work. So my best option is probably Weather. Rain is the obvious best choice for Weather, but honestly, I felt bad about discarding this team which I spent so much time on. Well, my PC I've already got a max IV Venusaur, so why not use it? To use Venusaur, I guess I'll need a Sun team, which can do many things like abuse chlorophyll grass types and powerful fire attacks. So with this I get to work. Now the first step to building a good weather team is to pick your ace Pokemon, your Mega Form, and also you need your weather enablers. I'll say in a good weather team you need at least 2 automatic weather enablers to ensure the weather can stay. You can use Sunny Day, but wasting a turn is not recommended. With all this in mind, I assemble a new Sun team and grind them up all the way, which was surprisingly easy to do. With this new team, I have a test run against a gym leader Misty rematch and beat her soundly. Alright, I'm already liking this team. It seems to work well together and is already way stronger than my last one. Now that I've got all the items, abilities and training complete, I go to challenge the Elite 4 again. This is my new Sun team. Though it isn't perfect or optimized, there is certainly room for alterations. So here's the meme Sun squad. Like, as I said, you can make some changes to this if you want. There probably is a more optimal build, but this worked well enough for me. So the first Pokemon on my team is Venusaur. Now, this is my chlorophyll user and a very important one. You want to have at least one chlorophyll user on a Sun team, as you need something that can outspeed everything and something that isn't fire type. A grass type works very well with fire types, and something that can abuse status like sleep powder and such. And I would say Venusaur is probably the best one. There are other good options like Blossom. Sunflora got a good buff, Veilplume, Victory Bell, but Venusaur in terms of stats is probably the best because it's got the most speed, it's got very high special attack, and it can really abuse status moves like Leech Seed and Sleep Powder. And that's amazing because with the Sun you can outspeed almost literally everything in the Pokemon League, so being able to outspeed something then put it to sleep is so useful as it gives you so much breathing room. You can switch out into something then set up and sweep, or you could just use Giga Drain, deal a boatload of damage and heal up. It's just really useful. For this Venusaur I went Modest Nature, max HP, max special attack, because I eventually end up maxing out its IVs, so even with 0 speed EVs, with the Sun, Venusaur will be outspeeding anything that isn't Choice Scarfed, apart from Dragapult. So you can just specialise more in special attack and HP so it can take a hit, then heal itself back up with Giga Drain. So very good Pokemon overall. Now the next Pokemon, and arguably the most important and the most powerful, is Charizard, and this is Mega Charizard Y. Obviously the fact that Mega evolves and get Drought is really important, but this is especially useful as a Drought user as it Mega evolves, then gets a Drought ability, which doesn't seem that important, but against Lorelei it is really important as she has a Rain team and a Heal team, so it's basically Weather Wars, and you need to be able to activate your Weather ability after she does to ensure that your ability is up and she gets completely destroyed. Mega Charizard is fast, it's not too fast, it will be getting outsped even with the timid nature, but Heat Wave is very good as there are double battles in Elite 4, Solar Beam's amazing for coverage, Air Slash really good against Bruno, and you can also give it something like Will-O-Wisp or Roost if you need it. Its special defense is also good enough so it can take a hit if it needs to. Overall, Mega Charizard Y is very important. Now the next Pokemon is I decided to put on Blaziken as a win. Most of you already know that Blaziken is incredibly powerful, especially because it's got speed boost. The moveset I went for was Protect, Sword Stance, Flare Blitz and High Jump Kick, so it's got very strong moves. You absolutely need Protect to make sure that you get that plus speed. With its max speed and jolly nature, which ideally you want, with one Protect you can outspeed almost everything that isn't Choice Scarf, so that's very important. And Sword Stance can allow you to one-shot almost everything. The one problem with Blaziken is that though it hits really hard and once it sets up is really fast, it's very flimsy. And it can sweep, but you need to be very careful in setting it up, as it usually cannot take a hit, and you can't really run Focus Sash because of Flare Blitz. I went for Leftovers because I didn't really know what else to run, but Blaziken's really strong, but you need to be very careful in how you run it. I'd say a good strategy to enable a Blaziken sweep is to use Venusaur to put something to sleep, then switch into Blaziken. Now the next Pokemon is a strange one, and I picked Torquel as my main Drought user. Well, most people would agree that Torquel's very good. It gets Drought, so automatically it's very good, but as a standalone Pokemon, Torquel was definitely the weakest Pokemon on my team. But that's pretty much it. It can't really do anything else. Its special attack, along with Lava Plume, isn't strong enough to deal any meaningful amount of damage. Its special defense is basically nothing. You need a Heat Rock, so you can't use a Focus Sash or Leftovers or anything. And it can burn something, yes, like occasionally, but most of the things Elite Four can either one-shot Torquel beforehand or they can just switch out or deal with it. And Torquel can't really do much else. Stealth Rocks and Rapid Spin is very good, but the Stealth Rocks only matters a little bit against Agatha, and it does matter against Lance actually quite a lot, but it's not easy to get your Stealth Rocks out, and even if you do, you'll probably just lose your Torquel in the process, so yeah. I mean, the main fact that it gets Drought means that it's automatically worth it. I would probably rather run Ninetales instead, but it's up to you. Honestly, Torquel is still useful in the Sun team, because you need Drought. That's it for Fire types. I've got 3 Fire types in the team, and I didn't want to put any more Fire types or Chlorophyll users. So for the last 2 Pokemon, I put just generically viable Pokemon that are really strong that can fill other roles that my other Pokemon can't do. So for my next Pokemon, I want to put a pseudo-legendary Dragon. And there are many good options like Salamence, Garchomp is very good. But I settled for Dragapult because I already spent a humongous amount of money to max out its IV value, so kind of like sunk cost fallacy, I felt I was stuck with this. But in its own right, it is very good. It's incredibly fast. With a jolly nature, it'll outspeed pretty much everything, so you don't even need to worry about that. And its attack is still very good. Dragon Darts is also an incredibly useful move for breaking things like sashes. Also in the double battle against Lorelei, it's so useful because it hits both Pokemon, and that will come in handy. So this Pokemon's up to you, but I use Dragapult and it worked quite well. And the final Pokemon on my team, you've already seen this before, Corviknight. It's just very powerful, and I feel this was just too good not to put in the team. You need a good physical wall, and Torquel just wasn't really cutting it. Corviknight with Protect, Roost and Leftovers, along with Pressure, was so good at stalling out Bruno's team. It made it really easy with his squad, and it's just incredibly useful. I went max HP, max defense, impish nature, and it put in so much work. Against Agatha, it wasn't as amazing, but still, it basically gave me an almost auto win against Bruno. So that's pretty much it for my Sun team. Like, it worked pretty well. I still had a lot of trouble in Elite Four. You can use this strategy yourself. So I challenged the Elite Four again with my new team, and oh come on, I'm still losing. Well, to be honest, this team is way better, but it still took a couple of losses for me to figure out how to use it to its best ability and to learn all the matchups, so there was a bit of a learning curve involved. Once you do this, the first 2 Elite Four members will be very easy to beat. So now after a few losses, I understand how my team works, I'm truly ready, and it's time to be the Elite Four. No losses or resets. This is it. Up first is Lorelei's Hail team, which is absolutely insane. Glaceon hits like such a truck and has a Slush Rush ability. But now that I know how to use my team, my Sun strategy counters it outright. You know what, I'll just show you what happened in this battle. Wow, that was fast. Surprisingly easy for a change. I guess Mega Charizard Y with Heat Wave really hard counters his team. Nothing more to say here. Well, at least Lorelai's a cakewalk. Even her rain team's not that bad once you know how to use the sun to your advantage. So up next is Bruno, and while he requires a bit of strategy, he's also very manageable most of the time. You need to know when to switch and what moves to make at what specific points, but if you do that, then you're all good. He leads off with Infernape, and I know that it's going to go for Fake Out, so Dragapult switches in. Regardless, Dragapult can just counter it pretty easily, so just set up a Dragon Dance. But the AI catches on to this Dragon Dance setup and switches into its own counter for Dragapult, Bisharp, and here you've got several options. You could try to U-turn or hard switch, because I know that it's got Sucker Punch, but I go for Will-O-Wisp, predicting a Sucker Punch, and I managed to weaken it significantly. Then I switch in my own counter Blaziken, which completely memes on Bisharp and sets up in it. Now I'm doing great as Blaziken can get 2 KOs. For some reason the AI decided to switch in Heracross next, that was kinda weird. Against Infernape, Blaziken having max IVs would have made a really big difference because its defensive IVs are really low, but it put in work regardless. With that, the battle's heavily in my favour. Bruno sends in his ace, freaking Zamazenta, which is definitely scary, but it's all good as I can just burn it with Dragapult, then after that it's not really a threat. For some reason Bruno was being too greedy. Don't get the wrong impression, the AI is usually way better than this. At this point I've got such an advantage I can easily start sacking some mons to ensure my victory, as Charizard can stop Lucario and beat the final Komo, as Venusaur can now outspeed it and just finish it off. Honestly, Bruno is just a warm up, but Agatha is where the real fight begins. She's on another level completely, and this took me several tries to get past her, but it finally happened after many losses. I already knocked out one of Agatha's Pokemon. I didn't record the very first engagement in the battle as I lost so many times I didn't actually expect to win this time, but things finally started to go my way. Torquel got his rocks up, set up the sun, and was luckily able to KO the leading Grimmsnarl, as Grimmsnarl was trying to set up some screens. Great start, innit? Mimikyu's next, and this is a really big threat as it can set up, use priority, and take it safely, so I need to burn it, and take out its disguise. Now I make a risky move and I U-turn into Blaziken and set up just in time for Mimikyu to go down to his residual damage. My plan was to take out the rest of our team with Blaziken, use Protect and Leftovers to heal up and just sweep from there. But no, Marshadow was able to Shadow Sneak it and destroy it. Jesus Christ, those lack of good defensive IVs really mattered as it must have been really close. I can do this, but I need to get my sun up. Venusaur can put the Marshadow to sleep. If it doesn't miss. Well, that was a big waste. I was so close to losing Corviknight, but somehow it was just able to stop this monster. Too close for comfort, I almost lost right there. Oh snap, now both of our Megas are out, and I can just take a hit from that Gengar as Charizard has surprisingly good special defense. Now all that's left is Dragapult. But don't worry guys, this is a sashed variant, and it can use Phantom's Force, so it can counter Aegislash pretty well. Finally I managed to beat Agatha. This battle was really back and forth and required a lot of strategy and good plays, but I've come this far and I don't want to restart the challenge. The thing is that this is actually my second time challenging Lance at all in this playthrough, and my first time challenging him with his new team. This is getting really tense and I seriously do not know if I can beat him. Hell, last time I only saw half of Lance's team. That's how badly I got beaten, so I don't even know what to expect. But I had to do this regardless. Let's go! Aerodactyl's first, and I need to get my hazards up and burn it, as I do know that he has a Dragonite and probably some flying types, which I do get my Stealth Rocks, but Aerodactyl's rocks are also not good for me, and Torquel can't even take it down. Hell, the Aerodactyl even has a red card. Okay, Corviknight can easily finish it, but damn it he switched in Melmetal, and it has Thunder Punch which is not good. Well, I guess I can just U-turn to Venusaur then put to sleep. Oh baby, but no! It just had to paralyze it. Man, this went from being a really favourable matchup to an awful one. At least I managed to put to sleep, but now what? Once again Blaziken is able to set up, but it's completely ruined, as now it's got no moves to beat in the Dragonite. The thing is that if I taught Blaziken a rock move like I've got TM Stone Edge and Rock Slide, I could have probably swept, but I can't relearn Flare Blitz and High Jump Kick, because they're not TMs in this game, which is a really big predicament. This is not good. Just when I could have turned this around, it backfired. No choice but to sacrifice Venusaur as it's paralysed and not going to be doing too much. So I repeat the previous play by baiting in Dragonite, then counter it with Corviknight, then land switches back out. See, despite being clearly outmatched, I can use the Stealth Rocks to my advantage to whittle down my opponent. But here I made a really bad misplay and got greedy, not knowing that this thing had Earthquake. Oh no. Well, at least Dragapult can beat this. I'm going to need to play at my best to win after this, and... What? What? Corviknight? Oh no, it's got Thunderbolt. I panicked here big time. Oh my god, what even is this? I made a super clutch play in desperation and predicted a fire move, allowing Mega Charizard just to switch in and deal a really strong hit on this monster. But this is still really bad. I'm seriously about to lose here. Yikes. But wait. At the very least now Dragapult can at least finish off this Primal Dialga. Wait. And the Melmetal, as it's so weak now, and... Oh wow, next is Dracofish, but with a Jolly Nature and Stealth Rocks, I can outspeed it even if it's Choice Scarf. One shot the Dracofish. Holy moly. Can I do this? Of course Dragonite is too weak and it goes down. It can't even use Extreme Speed. This is crazy. Only 2 more Pokemon left, and 1 more after the Aerodactyl goes down, as Dragapult can still outspeed it. The Jolly Nature really came in clutch, and the final Pokemon is Mega Salamence. The Intimidate is not good, as it destroys Dragapult. Wait, why didn't Lance just send this out earlier? Had he done that, I would have definitely lost for sure. But that was weird, but this misplay gave me the opening to win. We both go down, but my Corviknight was left standing, just how Android 17 was left standing at the end of the Tournament of Memes in Universe 7. But with that, it's finally here. It's time for the final showdown against the champion. I'm completely blind at this point and I've got no idea what to expect. This may be the hardest challenge yet. From all I know, he probably has like multiple legendaries or something crazy on his team, God knows. But getting here was so clutch. I don't want to have to go through all this again. Though I'm scared, I have to play my very best to finish this game on my first try. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Wow. Just wow. That was a crazy battle. I somehow managed to win on my first blind attempt. That battle was unbelievably tense, and honestly, I think I lucked out big time. The Primal Groudon, Darkrai, Mega Diancie, and Ditto were such curveballs, especially that final Ditto. I guess it's a pretty fitting ace Pokemon for my rival. The bit where Venusaur and Cinderace both missed at the same time was also utter insanity. But yeah, with this, I finished my blind playthrough and I ended with my Sun team. Really, you need to have a good game plan to beat this game, and I should have built my weather team earlier. But with enough strategy, team building and determination, you too can prevail through this game and beat it. For now, God knows what the upcoming post game will introduce. There's going to be an Elite Four rematch and who knows what there's going to be there. But anyways, I'll take the win for now. I'll definitely play this game again, no doubt. I might try to use a different weather team like Hail or something. Or I might do a challenge where I can only use Pokemon in like the NU or PU tier list. Anyways, join me next time for my next video. This is Ding Dong, signing out.